Good rainy Saturday morning. I hope you're well. This is going to be short because I decided I should bring an extra power bar to work so I could eat it on the way home because I'm hungry when I get off shift. And so I ate like half of it on the way home. It was okay. Anyhow, get home, shed everything at the door, my routine, head right to the shower, de-skunk, whatever. Get out of the shower. I'm like, I was like, that's kind of weird. Like, this is not the first shower I've taken. These are all the products that I've used. Like, what the hey? And then it dawned on me that I'm allergic to the power bar. So, a little bit of Benadryl on board, and we're going to be sleeping good in a very short minute. So, we'll keep it short. What was I going to share this morning? The shift was fine. Nothing major or significant happened. New resident on tonight, and he said that even the medical staff feel relief because having nurses in there that are from ICU backgrounds and know drips and rates and weaning and suggestions and that kind of thing, and just used to what's normally charted on a regular basis has helped him because the ER is still functioning under the ER charting system, which is different than the hospital, and the ER nurses have really been just above and beyond with just enormous caseloads and super, super sick patients and trying to just stay above water. That some of the things that the docs just reflectively look for aren't there, or aren't there in a fashion that they're used to seeing it, in a charting system that is more geared towards a critical patient. And this is more like, it's literally like free text, almost everything. So, and then there's a variety in style. So, just makes it complicated, and they're frustrated because I think they're used to looking at a lot of the results and everything remotely, and it's just not organized and together. And so everyone's sort of struggling with this, So since, and this is only our second night, my third shift, whatever, but we have all that information at the ready, is what we're used to. And so they're feeling some relief as well. So that is another positive. Took one of they got a room up in the ICU, so I actually transferred my one guy on event upstairs. He had been prone, so what they're finding is that when they prone the patients, it gives them a bigger space for lung capacity, and they've shown improvement. So pretty much all of the patients are on ventilators are prone, and they lay face down, body down, not on their face, you know what I mean, 16 hours, and then flip face up, or as I say, toes up, 8 hours, which is just really odd when you're used to looking in and seeing a patient's face, especially like when they're on the vent and they have tubes and all this kind of stuff, and you're just used to seeing it, and you look in and everybody is toes down. So there's just a lot of butt, because the doors are all at the end of the room. So you like look in and you're like, there's the moon. No, I'm kidding. We obviously have everyone covered and decent, but I'm used to seeing toes, and there ain't any toes when they're face down. So, which just kind of puts its own little challenge on, checking tubes, confirming placement, all that kind of stuff. And if there needs to be any intervention, you have to add the part of flipping them back, which is like 6 people and a respiratory therapist to turn them, because our beds are not technically beds that prone. In one hospital I've worked in the past, they have a special bed and it's like in a frame and it, like does all the magic for you. This isn't the case. We're literally just flipping on the count of 3. So, yeah, it just adds an extra layer. So anyhow, I had to take him up to the ICU floor, and of course he was prone, but for safety, you don't want to transport somebody in that position should you have a crisis or you go into cardiac arrest, and then you got to flip them to do anything, or if the tube would dislodge because it's more difficult to see, anyhow. So I'm rambling, sorry. But anyhow, so we had to flip him and take him upstairs. So we took him upstairs and, get in there, and the ICU that we went to has 14 beds. Every single one of them vented. I mean, just, full court press. All the staff up there and all the patients. And it's just kind of really strange. I mean, usually when you walk into an ICU, depending on the acuity and where you're at, there's some not on vents, some on vents. Maybe they're not always full to capacity. This was to capacity, everybody on a ventilator. So, and also you wind up seeing like this facility that I'm at has ventilators loaned to them because they exceeded their capacity. So you see like every brand under the sun. So yeah, that was interesting to see. And one of the nurses from day shift stayed late because they're still struggling with computer access issues. And she said she works in one of the city university hospitals. She said they have a 34-bed ICU full, everybody on a vent. And then they opened 17 beds in one area, all ICU, and 16 beds in their PACU, and converted them all to ICU. And I can't even do the math right now because I just can't. And all of them vented, and really, really sick people. So super scary to hear that kind of stuff, and glad we could be here to help. So that's my story in a nutshell. I do have another story that I'll share, but I have Benadryl on board, and so it makes me a little bit emotional. And this is actually the 4th time I've tried to record it, and then I decided I just wasn't going to share the story that I was originally going to share, because then you would just sit here and watch me like tear up over it, and it would be kind of pathetic. So I'll get my crap together after I have a little bit of sleep, and I'll include it at a later time. If I forget, remind me. But nice story, but it started out with her bursting into tears, and as I start talking about it, I just, whatever. So anyhow, they're grateful. We're glad we're here and that we're able to help, and to see how the ripple effect affects so many other different parts, and different, in different ways. So anyhow, it's all good. I have Benadryl. I am happy. I am taking a nap, and I'll be back at it tonight. Hope the rain clears. Hope everyone is well. Sending all my love. That's all. Night night.